Okay, so a common question I get when it comes to Google Apps is how do I set document defaults? So how can I set custom margins and not have to do that over and over again? How can I set fonts the way I want? So I want to walk through that really quick on a Google Doc. So what you're going to want to do is after you've created a Google Doc, which I've created, I'm just going to call this the test document. And then if I go to File and Page Setup, you see I have all of my margins and I can set them custom in portrait, landscape, paper size, page color. And then right here at the bottom I have this Set as Default button. And so once I've made all of those changes, if I click this Set as Default, then that means every document I create from here on out is going to have those settings. So if 1-inch margins don't work for you and you need to customize what those margins look like, then this is where you can do that and set it as a default and know that moving forward they're all going to be the same. Now as far as text goes, I'm going to start typing in this document, so I'll just type something new here. Actually, before I do that, I'm just going to back up and I'm going to select a different text. I like to type in Calibri, and I like to bring that up, so I type something new. And then what I can do is I can go to normal text and I get this little arrow over to the side, and so I can say update normal text to match. And so now this is what normal text is going to be, and that means all of my headings are going to pull from that. And then if I go to options, I can save this as my default style. And then when I open a new document, my margins will already be set, and I can just click down and say, hey, use my default styles, and then I'll be using the font of my choice. So if you're trying to set your document up and you want to have your defaults come through all the time and you don't want to have to worry about going through and changing things, that's the best way to do it in Google Docs. Now the other question I get asked is about Google Sheets. And the main question is, can I turn on text wrap by default so that when I open up a spreadsheet and I start typing, it doesn't overflow, but that text wraps in that cell? So I want to show you how I do that right now. Okay, so you can see I'm here in my my Google Drive, and I want to create a new spreadsheet. So I'm going to go New, Google Sheets, and it's going to ask me if I'm going to create it in this shared folder because my folder is shared. So I'm going to say yes. Then it opens up my new doc. Now I go up and I call this spreadsheet template. Here's what I do is I just come down and select the first cell and then just hit Control-A or Command-A on a Mac. I select all of the cells, and then I come up here and go to text wrapping in the menu. So it looks like this, and I click this little down arrow here and I just select it to wrap text. So now the default on this sheet, or the setting on this sheet, is that every cell is going to wrap text, and so it's not going to overflow into the cell next to it. So now that I've done that, if I close this out and come back to my sample folder, you see I have a spreadsheet template, and anytime I make a new spreadsheet, I just right click on this and say make a copy, and I make a copy of that template and then open it up and I rename it to whatever I want to call it. So new template or new spreadsheet, and then I can begin working. And because this is a copy of the previous one, or the one we had open before, all of these are set to text wrap, and so you can see no matter what cell I click in, right up here it says text wrapping is on. So that's the easiest way to kind of set documents to a default setting that you're looking for, and be able to get started in documents quickly without having to go through and set all of that every time. All right, I hope this video has helped. Thanks.